What's up, everybody? It's the Gpk Warriors, and we're back from the
Hi.
dead. We're back from the dead, like Dead Ted
They've heard this shit before. They don't care now.
and J to K. Yes, yes, yes. But what had happened was we got kicked off because I streamed a movie that wasn't public domain. So maybe we'll just keep the movies for the Discord. We're going to show this badass commission that Mr. Ryan Harris has done. The albino rhino rocked that right there. What's up, William? I hope your sniffles are a little better as we got cut off, brother. But I'm glad you're here.
There he is.
Yes.
Would you
You're leaving?
like the soup?
On to
what?
the next
I'm
one.
sad
Why are you sad?
because my YouTube channel's gone.
Oh, it's okay. Say hi. Say hi on my stream. This is Toa. Go look down. You got to be there. There you are. Bow.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Toa?
Good.
You good? All right, I'm streaming right now, okay? Go in the front. I'll come see you after I'm done, okay? Close the door, too, okay? I'll leave it open. All right. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I hope everyone jumps back on, too. And I could light this back up. 1 second. All right. If people don't jump back on it, it's okay. But, yes, we can play a game. We can play a game. We can do something.
What, like hide the sausage?
Ooh.
Hide the sausage. Rescue the Warriors. That was so funny. Oh man, Robert Deckers had put a whole narrative up in the comments on Facebook. I'm gonna keep that post up just because of that. That's so funny. All right, we're in. But yeah, I can't stream the movie. It's not public domain. We got flagged. They said that it's just a warning and not to do it again. So movie nights will now
Simple next
strictly.
time.
So movie night will strictly be on Discord. Discord, guys.
What about this whore?
Discord. But I can
The
read
fuck
an
is
excerpt
Discord?
from one of our books. One of our books. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let me take you on a journey through the wondrous world of Big Adam's Can Factory, where innovation meets hilarity and canning takes on a whole new meaning. Now, let me set the scene. Picture a sprawling industrial complex just outside of Pennsylvania. Its exterior ominously adorned with enormous, colorful murals of canned peaches, green beans, and mysterious mystery meat. That's not definitely fit for human consumption. This hallowed ground belonged to my buddy, Big Adam, the brave owner and operator of all things canned. Oh, and did I mention that he's missing half of his pointer finger? Yeah, he's got the kind of fighting spirit that puts Rocky Balboa to shame. As we, the GPK Warriors, rolled up in our trusty van, affectionately dubbed the Rolling Sausage, the air was thick with suspense and the faint smell of something that probably wasn't meant to be smelled again. You see, Adam had recently decided to host a surprise meeting for the group, but instead of being straightforward about it, he decided it would be a grand adventure, the kind where you would find yourself and question your life choices. My first thought was, just don't let Karen show up. Every time she makes an appearance on our live stream, things go crazy, and usually not in the way that was remotely fun for Adam. Upon entering the factory, we were greeted by the awe-inspiring assembly, line of canned goods and cacophony of clanging machinery. Nothing says party like the sound of metal colliding. Beans was already trying to socialize with the partially assembled tin can, claiming he was merely participating or practicing his interventional talks. Albino Rhino was in the back, drawing caricatures of cans and poses. A can of corn flexing its muscles, a can of green beans lounging on the beach. It was a surreal carnival of creativity and chaos.
That
However,
does sound like something I would draw.
right? However, things took a turn when Big Adam decided to enlist the rest of us in the Can Do Challenge. Let me hit this button.
Can do.
This inventive game was his way of showcasing the latest flavors of what they canned. Yes, supposedly here, each flavor had a signature move. Imagine 5 grown men trying to unlock the secrets of Explosion Surprise, where you literally guessed what was inside of a can without looking, based only on sound and aroma. Spoiler alert, the mystery of that one can filled with pickled herring remains unsolved. Of course, all hell broke loose when Raw Lamb opened a can labeled Doomsday Delight with an ominous hiss. At first, we thought it was just an unlucky batch, until a gooey purple mess erupted from its depths. We all dove for cover as the vicious substance splattered across the machinery, resembling an abstract piece of art gone horribly wrong. I could almost hear the corporate office at top scheduling a meeting about his disaster when they showed up to what was clearly an artwork in the making. While we wiped purple goo off our beloved shirts, I noticed that Adam's charming wife Karen had appeared out of nowhere. Her arms are crossed and an eyebrow raised with that classic "What have you done now, nerds?" look. I, I could I could see the mental tally she was making, and boys, let me tell you, it was not in our favor. Despite our best efforts to clean the art installation, it was obvious that her disdain would haunt us in the live stream forever. 1 second of her talented humor on camera, and Big Adam you would hear, "You messed it up again, Big Adams," for the next 3 years. Gathering the scraps of our dignity, we regrouped in the break room where there was laughter, albeit nervous laughter. Down under Dan was sporting a makeshift can do hat made of flattened soda cans, and even Beans grabbed a battered can and dubbed it Captain Sardine. The camaraderie was stronger than ever. No matter how messy or absurd the situation, we found humor, a solid bond of laughter amidst the chaos in the can factory. By the time our adventure ended that day, we realized we had gained more than just an absurd episode for our live stream. We had unlocked an inside joke with our warrior crew. From then on, Big Adam's Can Factory shenanigans would be a staple in our lexicon. A hilarious reminder that, even in the world run amok by Satan and his cunning AI, it helps to have a canning buddy by your side, eternally ready to embrace the unexpected. Cheers to you, Big Adam. May your fingers be plenty and your laughs never ending. There we go.
So stupid.
I could grab the other book and read something else about somebody else. I just be reading random stuff. I just open a different thing. Let's see.
Trump has been sold.
There we go.
Nice.
Congratulations, brother. I'm glad that person's happy.
Oh yeah.
I hope
He's
it's
like,
a happy.
please tell me that one's for me. It's like, yeah, man.
Wonderful. But yeah, Cheryl, welcome back. If you don't know what happened, we got kicked off because of the movie, so we're not going to stream movies on there. Discord is strictly the movie place. We have books with the regular Warriors, and then we have a second book with our other Warriors with us: Will Green, Robert Decker, GPK Vinny, and who was the other one? Jeff Trax. Can't forget Jeff Trax. He's a collage wizard. I gotta grab that book in the living room though. Beans' master plan to outsmart Satan. Beans, our military strategist turned quill enthusiast, who somehow finds a way to spin together his theories about history and military tactics, all while rooted firmly in the realms of his coveted powdered wigs and feathered pens. When it came time for the GPK Warriors to concoct the plan to outsmart Satan, I knew that Beans was the one to put it together. An intricate, utterly ridiculous master plan that merged strategy with whimsical nonsense. Believe me, we desperately needed it. Since our strategy of throwing up weird art quirks had only confused everyone, it was time to up our game. The day began with a typical scene of chaos as Big Adam was valiantly trying to keep his pointer finger from getting ink stained while simultaneously pleading with Karen not to make him do ridiculous chores on our live stream again. Meanwhile, I was pacing the room, pondering how we could take on the Prince of Darkness himself. Then Beans, ever the serious one in our wonderfully bizarre band, sat down, adjusted his imaginary monocle, and declared, "Listen up, comrades. Today, we will execute my master plan. It is foolproof. It's entirely convoluted, but it's foolproof." Beans proceeded to unfurl an oversized drawing of a crudely sketched map, which he, without shame, managed to draw while recalling every battle of quill and ink from his idiosyncratic history book. The map vaguely outlined Satan's lair and included various points of entry, most of which led to local fast food joints. First, we traveled to the Valley of Frustrations, he claimed, pointing to a corner of the map nobody could decipher. This is where we shall confront his minions. We'll confuse them with our abstract thinking. They won't even know what hit them, unless, of course, they have been primed with our previous attempts. While the rest of us exchanged glances of outright skepticism, I had to hand it to him. This was a classic example of Bean's logic in action. Right, Beans? Next, what do we do once we reach the Valley of Frustrations? I called out, struggling to contain my amusement. Do we bring pizza? Elongated necks? Maybe Rhino could showcase his distracto glare technique. Nonsense, Beans exclaimed, fervently waving his quilled pen. Our true weapon will be the power of historical references. We, we, what? We lure Satan now with artifacts he obsesses over. We'll tape a picture of the Declaration of Independence to the door, and he'll come running, believing he can steal its power. Raw Lamb, who was on the verge of contributing, smirked. You mean the same declaration that Beans thinks is a secret goodbye letter to Thomas Jefferson from the Gay Macaroni Club? Yeah, that was a low blow against Beans' train of thought. But we needed each other's sanity check in this weird game. And besides, Beans caught the jab with an admirable air of dignity. Precisely, Beans replied, puffing out his chest as though he were a general commanding his troops. We'll coax him into a philosophical debate. Once he's distracted by his own ego, we can sneak right into his lair of evil tech and neutralize the demon overlord's AI with the nuance of a finely feathered quill. Of course, by neutralize, he meant we'd get distracted and probably start talking about powdered wigs or how the gay macaroni club surely furnished Satan's with its fabulous decor. As absurd as it sounded, there there was some weird charm in his pitch. After all, Beans was always an advocate for merging art and history. And if there's one thing Satan despises, it would be dealing with a one sided debate where Beans inevitably entered with his historical anecdotes. We could practically visualize Satan wrestling with existential dilemmas while contemplating why he ever decided to compete with the group of quill wielding misfits rambling about powdered wigs. You see, the beauty of Bean's plan laid within its unorthodox nature. Only a true artist could withstand a battle of wits with the Prince of Darkness over the right to be flamboyant. We can paint the entire scene filled with exaggerated detail. Satan draped in ominous clouds, perplexed, staring at the glimmering feather of a quill, questioning its relevance in the world where genuinely bad sketches could hurl shade far better than he could ever hope to. At a minimum, Bean's master plan represented the heart and soul of our little troop of warriors, to approach our challenges with creativity that embraced joy and humor. In the end, as we prepared against the forces of evil, I realized that if there was any chance for success, it would be built on camaraderie, adrenaline, and of course, Beans' masterfully ridiculous proposition that would either save the day or result in a laughable train wreck of epic proportions. Either way, we'd make some noise, which is always what the GPK Warriors do best. Boom. That's a Bean section. Yes. Oh man. You guys want to know about the saxophonist saint?
Yes.
All right. Let's dive headfirst into the exquisite chaos of the challenges that our new friend, the saxophonist saint, introduced to our lives. And boy, was it a wild ride. With the intoxicating effects of those magical sax tunes still dancing in the room, our whole vibe was set to ridiculously surreal. We might have thought we were just a bunch of dudes achieving the sweet harmonies of misfit camaraderie, but our sax playing companion had other plans. He wasn't content merely to serenade us. He was going to throw us a challenge worthy of the most flamboyant jazz improvisation concert imaginable. The moment he raised his horn and shot us a sly, almost mischievous grin, we knew we were in for it. Ah, my fellow warriors, he proclaimed, each word dripping with exuberance. It is time for a little friendly competition. Right there, I felt my muscles tense in response, ready to run if things went haywire. Was it just a friendly jam, or was he about to summon a sax off that would rival even the most intense musical showdowns in history? Suddenly, our adventure took a turn that I certainly hadn't prepared for. Instead of rescuing the universe or battling Satan, we were about to be embroiled in a series of amusingly over-the-top challenges that would test both our creativity and our sanity. Please, don't let this become an embarrassing montage. Our first challenge came quick and unexpected. Create your own anthem. This sounded simple until the reality sank in. In a moment of fogged excess enthusiasm, I found myself standing in front of the saint, spit spewing my best rap while dancing like a kangaroo on caffeine. Instead of the thick lyrical genius I prayed I possessed, the words tumbled out in a haphazard mashup of mysteriously shouting. Roll with the Gpk crew. We got beats divine. Even the devil knows Saint Sal's gonna shine. The saxophonist, on hearing my lyrical disarray, I would never write like that. My raps are way different. Nodded as if I had just presented him with a mathematical proof of the existence of outer space. Instead, I cringed deeper than a cat at the vet's office. Raw Lamb, in his typical chaotic air, equipped some obscure sound effects that made every phrase I uttered sounds like a shot from a sitcom laugh track. As I stood there, frantically bobbing my head in what resembled an awkward seizure, I realized that this was a test of endurance. The saxophonist saint peered at us with a twinkle of mischief in his eyes, challenging Raw Lamb's overzealous attempts to hijack my moment into a cosmic rat race of embarrassment. In quick succession, we were paired up, duos to strut our stuff in different dares. Down Under Dan teamed with Beans, came up with Saxophone in a Ditch act. It involved Dan's neck extending so far that my stomach flipped at the thought of him potentially tripping himself up. With every deliciously awkward note they summoned, cartoon-like shenanigans unfolded. A flock of birds in the spark shifted to the rhythm, and an old lady tan-lined under a tree spun in her chair, serenading the squirrels with her own impromptu sax solo. Seriously, who knew seniors had hidden grooves? Meanwhile, Big Adam had found his stride too, but in a most hilariously odd way. He partnered with Albino Rhino, who decided to throw out a challenge centered on drawing their sax spirit, where in just 5 minutes, they took on the transforming vibes of their music and wrestling their artistic skills with a very unstable background. The results were extraordinary. Big Adam's character resembled a beastly saxophonist being blasted by rainbow beams, while Albino Rhino's stylized rendition looked like a sad potato that had dreamed of being fabulous. You do draw potatoes. The jazz magic stirred before us. We couldn't help but laugh out loud at their ridiculous attempts to validate that chaotic creativity. Though the competition was cloaked in humor, I began to notice the underlying purpose behind the Saints' challenge. It was about acceptance of our quirks, the sheer ridiculousness of creativity, and perhaps the beauty of connecting with each other through something as simple as a tune. Each challenge surfaced our goofy passion, unearthing the very essence of the Gpk Warriors. The saxophonist had a way of making us reflect and humorously reconnect with our silly essence, a reminder that joy and laughter could spark enlightenment in the wildest of situations. By the end of the unexpectedly challenging session, we found ourselves drenched in laughter, our egos battered, but our spirits soaring. Each note played by our saxophonist ushered us further into a world where absurdity was paramount and vulnerability could be worn like a badge of honor. We hadn't just played some ridiculous games, we had reunited as a crew, powered by laughter and sax melodies that would forever echo in our hearts. As we caught our breath, I realized that these challenges, while utterly bizarre, left us brimming with creativity and bonded us more than we ever knew possible. Thank you, magical saxophonist saint. We were more ready than ever to take on whatever absurdities this universe decides to throw our way next. Boom. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to go grab the other book real quick. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. You guys please talk to the chat. I'm going to go check something and I'm going to read something else from the other book.
Oh, we'll talk to the chat. Don't worry.
Talk to the chat, please.
Hey, did you hear that one time Sal did some weird shit?
Ooh, yeah.
It's in the next book. Stay tuned.
Hey, you and I were partners on that sack challenge.
I had it muted for a second because I was printing stuff. There's a sack challenge.
Yeah.
What kind of sack?
I showed mine. It's your turn.
Oh. Here's a sack. What is up, chat?
I can't read the chat.
There's nothing to read. It's just a bunch of smiley faces.
Oh.
We are here. We're here too.
Who said that? Who do I got to mess up?
Where's everybody going for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to my mommy's house.
All right. Second book. See? 2 books.
Yo, would you tell Ryan that him and I were partners in the sack challenge?
The book told it that. No, the one where I did most of the writing is the book that's getting sent now. I don't even have that in hand yet. But that one's super detailed and it's got us and the 2-minute sketch soldiers.
I was just talking about our sacks. That's all.
Yes. How do you play sax with the missing finger right there?
It's all flat notes.
Right? Flat notes. I love it. Flatulent notes. Let's see.
All right, I think I'm done. No, I'm not. Fuck. Man.
Let's see. Let's read about one of our bros.
Ask on Gravy Davy.
What's
Let's
up?
read about one of our bros.
You better do good on Gravy Davy.
I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not done yet, though.
Does it look like overspray Trump?
Ready? We're going to read about Robert Decker.
He's got the polka dots.
You guys want to read about Robert Decker? And then we'll do Will Green.
All right. Let's hear
it in the chat. Gather round, esteemed readers and fellow acolytes of inconceivable hilarity. For today, we dive into the amusing depths of mystical artifacts and their powers. A realm as unpredictable as a magician's assistant going rogue with the disappearing act. A mystical artifact is an object with extraordinary prowess. And let's be real, sometimes it's nothing more than a glorified accessory that carries a reputation built up over centuries of debauchery. These trinkets tend to rule the roost when it comes to interdimensional adventures, drumming up the energy we need not to just battle malevolent forces, but to defy logic itself and elevate comic mischief to unprecedented heights. Among our diverse option of relics, one particular artifact stood out. the amulet of awkwardness. Some may say it was suspiciously tossed together with a large jingling bells and a random Hawaiian shirt motif. This peculiar trinket could induce second-hand embarrassment at an extraordinary level, effectively pacifying our foes to a sheer discomfort. Picture powering it on during an adversary's grand proclamation of doom, as Robert Decker fumbles his latest spell attempt and inadvertently activates a grotesquely funny guide on how to be super cringe in 5 simple steps. Just as they attempt to unleash their big bad darkness, everyone involved ends up sliding off chairs in a fit of laughter. This artifact was undeniably the jam of our quaint ensemble, the comedic mousse to our sorcery themed party. Next on the docket was the Scepter of Slow Motion, Snarkitude, which I had personally named to fit our brand of impromptu comedy. This royal looking scepter allowed the wielder to summon snappy comebacks in a slow motion, like watching a slightly drunk sloth try to deliver a stand up comedy routine. That means every time someone attempted to deliver a serious retort, it got dragged out like molasses on a winter day. Picture Balthazar trying to assert his power while I'm waving the scepter, and he finds himself stammering uncomfortably, trying to recover from an endless series of over exaggerated replies of no, you're wrong. The experience was absolutely hysterical, shattering the tension of conflict like a breaking pinata filled with powdered sugar. Wait, this is not talking about Robert, this is his chapter. We're reading about Robert Decker, okay? That's what we're reading about.
I didn't even hear Robert's name, did I?
One time, so let me get to this.
Oh.
Let me get to Robert Decker. I read the wrong thing.
Way to go. Yo, first you get us kicked off the live.
I got us kicked off, I know. As I sat
Now
on
you
my
can't
elaborate throne of boxy trading cards, a towering monument of glorious pop culture, I pondered deeply upon the most misunderstood and often misrepresented aspect of the interdimensional adventures we embarked upon, the world of dark sorcery. It was just these battles against malign forces and errant spirits that I realized something profoundly humorous. Dark sorcery isn't merely about evil incantations and ominous chants. Oh no. It's more often than not a buffet of misguided intentions, poorly planned rituals, and the occasional, overzealous sorcerer attempting to secure a snack for the evening. I mean, when was the last time a dark wizard threw a successful dinner party? Probably never. So we were plunging headfirst into the dismal abyss of magic and mayhem with Robert Decker at the helm. Robert, my compatriot who donned a cat skull mask, was well versed in the arts of black magic and poisons. You see, while some might wither in dread as the thought of magic, I found it to be a peculiar blend of amusement and chaos. The expectation is that sorcery ushers forth the mystical from the mundane. However, the reality often amounts to spilling various concoctions into bubbling cauldrons, creating a mess that even my ultra handsome appearance could not charm away. Let's just say sorcery can be an unpredictable house guest, and I'm not referring to Eric Medina coming over. I could see, I could still hear whispered rumors about Robert's dark arts echoing through horror movie land like some stale popcorn drifting through the air. They spoke of uncanny spells, next that twist when you least expect it, and in shadows that take their sweet time creeping into an enchanted dance. This tarnished glam of sorcery was not without its merits, trust me. There's a reason why being a dark sorcerer often leads to an overabundance of questionable life choices. Robert Decker wore his expertise like a badge of honor, and though he often stumbled into spells that backfired catastrophically, his hangups were rarely enough to distract from the extraordinary chaos that we all embraced during our escapades. As we prepared to face off against the grotesque forces, I realized that dark magic is as much a style statement as it is a potential danger. For instance, who knew that little old curses could double as fabulous fashion accessories? Robert once showed up to a gathering wearing a cursed necklace that swelled to the size of his head. Hilariously, it had become so heavy that he practically toppled over each time he tried to invoke a spell. The sight of him struggling, flailing his arms, was iconic. One would think he was an amateur juggler rather than a sorcerer of the bunch. He certainly entertained the group as we creaked into the world where darkness intertwined with chaotic hilarity. Of course, what was every bit of dark sorcery without a well worn recipe book? At least that was my thought process during one of our planning sessions. While other fantasy figures risked their souls for arcane knowledge, I imagined Robert wistfully flipping through a dusty tome. How to circus magic your way out of suffering. It was it wasn't quite as foreboding or intimidating, or and who wouldn't love conjuring snacks alongside malevolent forces? This could be the ultimate niche. And just as I always believed, when peril lurks in the shadows, humor can illuminate the darkest corners. If our enemy could be rendered ridiculous, then weren't we halfway to victory? As our team ready to bolster our own dark sorcery skills in preparation for an encounter with these sinister forces, I felt compelled to remind everyone that laughter disarms even the most malicious of threats. This underlying philosophy guided our quest as we donned whatever spells we could muster, channeling our inner dark sorcerers. Whether it was Robert's dozen incantations or my ultra awareness nudging us towards comedic timing in the heat of battle, it was clear we were far from your garden variety warriors. We were here to remind the universe that in darkness there can be laughter. A hearty laugh is often the best spell one can conjure, and we, the GPK Warriors, were only just beginning to weave our fabric of mischief into the world of dark sorcery. Bing bang bong.
Boom.
Well, we're gonna. I have albino, a bunch of albino rhino stuff too, but I'm gonna read Will Green's first. Let's see. What's Will Green's page? I'm gonna have to scroll through this. Sorry. Yeah, Robert Decker's best for us stoners too. He can conjure snacks. So if you guys are watching and you want to draw some warrior stuff, Robert Decker, you guys got some Robert Decker stuff to draw.
Talking to me?
I'm talking to the chat and viewers that watch our show.
Oh.
Down under Dan. Let's see. I can't even remember what page the Will Green stuff was on. We got the Haunted Flea Market. Jeff Trax. Here we go. Jeff Trax is a collage wizard. Let's see. I just realized Robert Decker has like 3 chapters in his book.
Nice.
Will Green and his fiery boogers. Will Green's unique weaponry deserves a grand unboxing, a reveal that could rival the greatest surprises in unboxing history. Picture this. It's a typical chaotic day in our interdimensional escapades, and the warriors gather around a makeshift hideout, plotting out our next move against gooey creatures that look like they just rolled out of a toddler's art class gone wrong. But first, we need Will's secret weapon, the piece de resistance of our wrong. Oh no, I'm sorry. The piece de resistance of our defense strategy, the fiery boogers. Yes, you heard it right. These are not your ordinary run-of-the-mill boogers, folks. No, these are supercharged, flaming blobs of mucus that Will concocts in the lab, or we like to call it his garage. Now, you may be wondering, how on earth did Will stumble upon the idea to weaponize a childhood nuisance? It all began on a fateful stream testing out some artistic creations with an experimental hot sauce. The fiery combination ignited something in Will's mind, triggering a light bulb moment akin to your average comic book origin story. One minute, he was just a funny guy with a knack for self-deprecation, and next, boom, he was the proud president of the Fiery Booger Society. This revelation sent him on a quest to develop his unique weaponry. A quest to develop his unique weaponry. But rest assured, these boogers aren't gross. They're a melange of powers made from the highest quality of interdimensional snot we could find. As luck would have it, Will's fiery boogers possess inane properties. Not only do they burn through the goo creatures as if they were made of cardboard, but they also ignite the spirits of those who witness them. Imagine your average Joe strolling through a dimension filled with oozy slime, and all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a booger of infernal flames soars through the air, catching fire and illuminating the horrid surroundings like a sickly torch. The goo creatures freeze in sheer horror, blinded by the sparkly glow of Will's weapon, like they've just found themselves on a bad episode of Fear Factor. As we were gearing up for battle, Will proudly displayed his arsenal with enthusiasm of a kid at a candy store, holding up a bright orange and yellow booger with pride. This baby's gonna melt their gooey hearts, he exclaimed, eyes glimmering with the intoxicating prospect of glory and inevitable embarrassment. I'm not sure if it was a gleam of aspiration or just the sheer ridiculousness of the initiative that had us all cracking up. Nevertheless, we were on board. Somehow, we were convinced that these sticky, fiery orbs were our ticket to defeating the goo creatures lurking in the shadows. But as the plan unfolded, we realized that the fiendish nature of those goo creatures would not let us win so easily. They started to swarm us, and Will began tossing fiery boogers like he was training for a new Olympic sport, booger throwing. Hilarity ensued as his aim was decidedly more of a suggestion than a strategy. As Will launched what was meant to be an exquisite shot, it veered off and hit Big Adam in the back of the neck. Boom! Creating a molten firework display unlike anything this dimension had ever witnessed. The look of sheer confusion on Adam's face was priceless. And for a moment, we all forgot about the creatures, doubling over with laughter at the sight of Adam bouncing around, trying to shake off a flaming booger that attached to itself to the back of his neck, like his clingy wife. As the Oh, as the battle heated up and the goo creatures approached, we figured out one crucial fact. Will's boogers can also detonate with explosive flare upon impact. Talk about a boost in morale. We may have inadvertently become a team of comedic ninja warriors, armed with a unique weaponry choice. Certainly not traditional, but definitely effective in fabricating laughter amidst chaos. Many battles may leave scars, but this one, my friends, will go in the history books. Will's fiery boogers didn't just become tools of battle, they transformed into an emblem of our camaraderie, representing how we could overcome the silliest of challenges together. As we laughed, strategized, and flung boogers with reckless abandonment, one crucial truth emerged. Sometimes the oddest of weapons can spark the most extraordinary adventures, and the wildest friends can make magic in the most absurd circumstances. The warriors were united not only against the Goo invasion, but also through the bursts of hilarity that filled the fiery arena of ludicrous antics. Armed with laughter, absurdity, and incendiary snot, we were ready for the battle of our lives. Boom. All right. That it, guys?
I think that's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sorry that the movie got us cut off, but we got to read some stuff. We got to hear some Gpk Warriors books. We got to read some from both books. We got to talk about us, and then we got to talk about our bros Decker and Will Green. You know what I mean? We also have stories about Vinny and Jeff Trax in there, Dan, Raw Lamb, Beans. You see Beans is all up in that book. But yeah, we want to thank you guys all for hanging out with us. Much love to Robert Decker, much love to Will Green, much love to our sis Cheryl Brooks Vick. We want to give a shout out to Gabriel that came and hung out with us also. Much love to you all. But yes, I am Handsome Sal. That's the Albino Rhino, and that's Big Adam. We are the GPK Warriors, and we are.